It just seemed like a win-win to us when it was presented to the organization.
We knew it was in the floodplain. People were nervous about that they're really not supposed to go in floodplains. Having now done this project, I think it's absolutely the right application for it. And I wouldn't have known that without the flood.
What if something as simple as a garden could help clean our rivers and protect our communities from flooding? This video shares the story and lessons learned of a rain garden built in Montpelier, Vermont, along the Winooski River. How it filters polluted runoff, survived a major flood, and proves itself a model for resilient, low-cost stormwater infrastructure. Through trial, error, and dedication, it's a powerful example of how small-scale green solutions can make a big impact downstream.
A rain garden has a number of benefits for water quality. First off, you're typically installing native vegetation, so it does create a kind of a little bit of habitat. And then the plants and the construction provides a way to absorb and slow down stormwater. And as that water takes a bit more time in that rain garden, it's able to be cooled down. You see a removal of sediment and nutrients before that water ultimately flows into the Winooski River.
When we first were made aware of the project, I mean, it's a huge parking lot, and that first flush of rain would have a lot of pollutants in it, and it was just going straight into the Winooski, no filters, nothing to slow it down. That was a huge opportunity to put in something that could take on that amount of water, slow it down, filter it before it went into that storm drain. At the beginning, we were like, let's make it as small as we can so it's easier maintenance. And it turns out that that's putting a lot of pressure on the rain garden, and we're getting bigger and bigger storm events that are more frequent. And so bigger would have been better. So that was a learning curve. It was 420 square feet when we first put it in 2020.
This rain garden design controlled storm water runoff for 3 years and even proved resilient after the July 2023 flood.
When the flood happened, of course, I mean, it was up to the building, the water. It was fully inundated, and it took on a ton of sediment. So it just looked like a big sand dune was now in the middle of the rain garden. But what was interesting was, after the floods, the rain garden started working again. Not at its potential, certainly not at the capacity that was working before the flood, but it was taking on parking lot water. It was filtering. Water was no longer going directly into the Winooski again, so it started working again within a few days of it flooding, which I found to be fascinating.
In 2024, the system was restored with planning and care to function more effectively.
The second time around, we put shrubs in, really trying to get in different root systems, and then the other one was just enlarging it. That extra 10 feet made a huge difference with how much water it could take on. There is, of course, maintenance up front, and that's mainly getting plants established. So the big thing is, yeah, then you come in the spring, and that's a big cleanup, much more than mowing. But then after that, the maintenance really becomes less and less. It's a garden that's meant to look very natural. The only real regular maintenance that will not change is the cleaning out the forebay. It really doesn't take long. In the 4 years that I had been maintaining it, I would clean out the forebay every 6 weeks-ish, and it would take maybe an hour.
I mean, there's some offsetting costs here too, right? So I think about other direct costs that we had with the traditional stormwater system we had out there with the catch basins and the structures we had out there. We would pay somebody to come in on a regular basis, we're required to do that, to pump out and clean out the sumps and all of our stormwater.
The East Rise Rain Garden is proof that with strong community partners, thoughtful planning, and a commitment to care, a project can remain both beautiful, functional, and resilient through challenges.
This is something that could be done within a fairly small footprint and provide pretty good value.
I look at all the parking lots that are along the Winooski. I'm like, oh, if every parking lot could have one of these, I just think about how much healthier our rivers would be. And we swim in them, we have our kids in them, we have our dogs in them.
Accumulation of these types of projects across the landscape has that downstream benefit to Lake Champlain. It might not seem like a big deal, you know, it's a rain garden, it looks a little bit small, but it really is having a big impact.